fellow A-Plusers, guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of A Plus More Phenomenal, your stop for your Power Rangers and Super Sentai review and news right here, guys, on our YouTube page, A Plus Opinions. As always, it is I, your host, Adam Perez, and we are back with a brand new video for you guys today. And as always, for our A Plus More Phenomenal episodes, you know that they're brought to you by JEfusion.com, one of the best Japanese entertainment blogs out there, so please go ahead and certainly check them out whenever you get the opportunity to do so, guys. But today I wanted to go ahead and do a video for us because look, we've got 3 or 4 weeks left before Kishirio Sentai Real Soldier drops. We've just seen Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger say goodbye to us and say farewell and adieu. And so we need something to kind of fill in this void. But what could we possibly do? Oh, maybe a review for Super Sentai Strongest Battle as we wind up getting the beginning of our 4-week mini crossover event, guys. And I gotta be honest with you, I really wasn't sure if I was gonna go ahead and do this reviews, but you know what I said? I said screw it, right? Let's get pumped, let's get excited for the upcoming Super Sentai season, and let's just keep going, right? Like, we've been on this pace for 51 weeks. Let's not slow down anytime soon. So we are here to go ahead and break down episode number 1 of Super Sentai Strongest Battle. But disclaimer, there's always a disclaimer whenever I do Super Sentai series for those of you who are brand new to the show, or at least I should say to this YouTube channel. I am a Super Sentai fan since the beginning of Gokaiger. I've done my best since Gokaiger to try and follow every single Super Sentai series. Some have been more difficult to do than others, so just so we know and very clear, 2 series that I unfortunately did not get the opportunity to check out fully: Zyuohger with the animals, and then the most recent one previous to Lupin Ranger, I believe, is the one with like the huge team, stars, constellations, whatever team that Stinger, Scorpius, Orange winds up coming from. Whatever season that was, unfortunately, as excited as I was to check it out, I never got the opportunity to do so. So those are a couple of seasons that I didn't get the chance to watch or under my belt. So if I don't know necessarily a lot of the past history for some of these Super Sentai teams or know everybody's name correctly, I'm just giving you a disclaimer before we get into this so that in the comment section box below you guys don't butcher me, okay? I'm just being honest. So let's just enjoy this for certainly what it is. And for me, at least, while I do know some of the characters, I still feel as though I'm coming into this as an outsider looking in. So a lot of my perspective may be a little bit different from some of your guys, or maybe certain things I don't necessarily pick up on. So bear with me and let's enjoy it and watch this together and enjoy the first 4 weeks before we get into Real Soldier. So let's get into this. And first and foremost, I love the fact that we're introduced to one of my favorite Super Sentai characters, Captain Marvelous, as we see our 35th Super Sentai team in Gokaiger going up against a brand new villain that I'm assuming we're going to be seeing more of in Real Soldier. But we've got Gokaiger versus Gaisorg, and I love the name, and I'm so glad Captain Marvelous said the name so I didn't have to necessarily butcher his name on here, needless to say. Like, when we saw his reveal in a couple of pictures from Toku Nation and JEfusion when they released it and released his name, I had no idea how to pronounce it. So Gaisorg, I absolutely love it. I love the costume design, and you want to talk about immediately showcasing what your power level is certainly like. This is certainly a great way to do so by single-handedly taking out all of the Gokaigers by himself. But what makes Gaisorg rather unique, not just his power level, but the fact that it seems as though he can copy other people's techniques, as he actually uses a fellow Gokaiger member's technique in Luca, winds up using her technique on the remainder of the team in here. And this is something that Captain Marvelous certainly does pick up on. But as you look at the Gokaiger team, Luca is certainly nowhere to be found. And so it does beg the question as to where Luca is, what's the mystery behind Luca, how does Gaisorg know her particular technique in order to certainly use it against them. So while we don't get the mystery solved here, I'm pretty sure that as the 4 weeks continue, well, we'll probably certainly get more answers to the questions that we certainly have. But I thought it was a really great introduction for Gaisorg and for Captain Marvelous also. But when we do see that the battle is in fact complete, Captain Marvelous actually does get an invite to the Strongest Battle for Super Sentai. And I really love of just the introduction here, seeing really all the Red Rangers from all the Super Sentai seasons before us, before Lupin Ranger versus Pat Ranger, coming up to the screen. But I am kind of confused because they did say something about the idea of like the Henshin era is coming to an end. I know we're like 40-something seasons into Super Sentai, but are they hinting at the idea that Super Sentai may end soon? I'm really hoping that's not the case. Like, let's not get to year 50 and stop Super Sentai altogether. So I'm hoping I'm reading into what the dialogue stated at the beginning of this video. I'm hoping that I read into that completely wrong. But I really love seeing all the Super Sentai teams get the opportunity to gather up. We even see Kichiro from the Pat Rangers making an appearance in here, getting an invite also, and deciding to go ahead and test his strength as well in order to get his one wish sort of fulfilled. And that's exactly what the winner of this particular tournament will certainly get. So it seems as though majority of them are all transported to this planet or to this particular area where they have battle stages and whatever the case may be set up. We do have ourselves sort of like a moderator for this tournament by the name of Rita. Super cute. I don't even know if she, unfortunately, I don't know if she's been in other Super Sentai series or if this is the first time that we've seen her. But if you guys are familiar with the Rita character, please let me know where you have seen her before in previous seasons. So really the idea behind this team up is that they are in fact splitting up everybody into teams of 5. So we've got teams of 5 and 32 teams overall, and they're all sort of fighting amongst, it's sort of like tournament level, right? So each team faces off against each team and just continues on into the tournament until you come down face to face with the very last team. Each person, I think, in the team has to capture a piece of the gem, and then you put all the pieces of the gem together at the end when you win in order to go ahead and get the wish. I believe everybody on the team gets at least one wish if you are in fact successful. But the one thing that we are coming to find out is that Guy Sorg is going around trying to figure out who's the strongest, who's the baddest, who can he go ahead and fight. This man wants all the smoke. He wants all the power as much as he possibly can. So while we see Guy Sorg in the beginning of this episode, we also see him towards the end and even in the middle of this episode interfering with other Super Sentai teams' battles as well. Not to get the gem for himself or whatever the case may be, but simply just to fight the strongest. It's really, he literally just says one thing: are you the strongest? Who's the strongest? Are you the strongest? And that's all Homeboy wants to do, is fight whoever the strongest is, and Captain Marvelous certainly still has a bone to pick with him. But look, I loved all the battle sequences that we wind up getting in here. For me, this is fun, and I really want to know, out of all the battle sequences that you've seen from episode 1, what particular pairing did you like the most in regards to the battle? So please go ahead and comment below at the bottom. Doesn't matter if it was like super short or if you didn't see too much. If there's a particular combination of Super Sentai characters you liked, or a particular battle sequence you liked the most, please go ahead and let me know which one it was in the comment section box below. But our first team that we wind up seeing here is really our main team of characters, Team Weirdo, which I absolutely love the name of their team. Considering all the pieces that they have in their team, I almost feel like it's extremely fitting. So we've got Captain Marvelous, who's a part of this team. We also have Yamato from Zyuohger in here as well. He also, along with Igasaki from the Ninja, is in here, which, look, I wasn't the biggest fan of Igasaki in Ninja, but I almost feel like he is the perfect person to have on this team, especially when you have so many serious people like Stinger from Scorpius Orange in here, along with Captain Marvelous. It's really fun to see Igasaki in the middle of all of that, and really doing his best to kind of maneuver around people's personalities or whatever the case may be. So while I wasn't the biggest fan of him in Ninja, I'm really glad that they kept him on board for this episode and for this crossover. And then of course we got the cutie in Kagura from ToQger, which was one of my favorite Super Sentai series, along with Gokaiger. If you haven't checked out ToQger, please certainly go ahead and do so. I had a blast. Despite the costumes and just the gimmick of the train, the story is just so spot on, quite frankly. It's really deep and just really heartfelt, so I highly recommend you check it out. But we've got a great team. But the first people that we see fighting is actually Yamato and, most importantly, finally Kichiro from Pat Rangers, which I really loved. And I love Kichiro's just respect. He understands sort of like what he's gotten himself into, right? He understands that these are all his predecessors, people that he should probably look up, people that came before him that had that power that he certainly does to protect the world, sort of thing. So I just love seeing just his mannerisms and the way that he holds himself when it comes to the other Super Sentai teams. I thought it was great. And their battle honestly wasn't half bad, but I will say this, I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get sort of like a clear winner. I mean, I appreciate the fact that Yamato wants to sit down and talk things out and hash it out, but it almost becomes a contest of whose wish is better, right? Like, yeah, everybody wants to wish for world peace. Everybody needs that, right? But if we fight together, we can accomplish that. So your wish isn't as important as mine is, says Yamato. So he doesn't necessarily say it like that, but that's the vibe that I was certainly getting just from this episode, needless to say. But Kichiro, hey, Kichiro is a man of his word. He certainly respects his predecessors and understands what it is that Yamato is trying to achieve for himself in his wish. And so Kichiro forfeits. He just kind of takes a step back and lets Yamato go ahead and win the day. Now, whatever Yamato's wish is, he certainly doesn't let anybody else know. He's pretty hush-hush in regards to what his promise and wish is. But if you guys might know exactly what Yamato is certainly referring to from his time in Zyuohger, if there were hints in that season, please certainly let me know if you have an idea as to what he could possibly be wishing for in the comment section box below, because I'm certainly very fascinated to say the least. So Yamato certainly does in fact win that particular bracket in that particular battle, and I think the next battle that we wind up seeing is Stinger along with Igasaki going up against a couple of other Rangers. I think one from Go-Onger, if I'm not mistaken, and I cannot remember off the top of my head where everybody else was from. For Power Rangers, at least, I know it's RPM as well as Operation Overdrive are in fact the characters that they wind up facing off against. So again, and hey, disclaimer at the beginning. Remember, I don't remember some of these people before Gokaiger, unfortunately, but that was a pretty good battle sequence until it got weird with them eating vegetables and fruit and getting distracted so Igasaki can easily grab the gem and win it for their particular team. Was that like a running joke in their particular series, like them just loving fruit and staying nutritious and healthy, or is that just something odd that they threw in there? It really threw me off, but I thought it was hilarious and just died laughing, quite frankly. But yeah, so we do see Stinger along with Igasaki winning this one, but not before Gaisorg winds up popping up towards the end of this episode and really puts Captain Marvelous in action, who's just sitting by waiting for his time. But once he sees Gaisorg, he quickly makes a run for it to go ahead and try and take care of him also. I'm really liking this sort of personal vendetta or issue that Captain Marvelous is having with Gaisorg. The fact that there is this sort of bigger overarching story for Captain Marvelous really gets me excited, because I really want to see what he's going to be able to do and capable of doing here in these particular 4 episodes. So I'm really excited to see yet another encounter. Look, I definitely really enjoyed this week's episode. I didn't think I was going to get as much fighting as I certainly thought that I was going to do, but it really blew me away, quite frankly. I had a blast watching this, and if this is what's going to be happening for the next 4 episodes, man, count me in. I'm all on board. But before we end this review, the last thing that we do see in here is a couple of the real soldiers at the end of this episode. We've got Real Soldier Green along with Real Soldier Black. Both of them are brothers, and they seem as though they also got the invitation, but it doesn't seem as though they went. It seems as though they're on their own path. They're looking for something, because they do see the Real Soldier symbol on one of the mountains inside, or on one of the walls in the caves that they're in, and we do see Real Soldier Black winds up transforming, or at least putting on his armor. And I will say this, as far as like the transformation goes, the fact that we get like this tribal sort of upbeat tribal music once again, that does remind me very much of Kyoryuger. So I was really kind of hoping that they would go a different route, but I really do feel like, again, while I feel like storyline purposes, this will certainly be different from Kyoryuger, there's certainly still a lot of things that you can certainly compare between the two. And then when it comes to tribal upbeat music, that's exactly what it certainly reminds me of. I'm pretty sure we'll see more of Real Soldier in this particular crossover as we get closer towards the end. end, but I was really impressed with episode 1, needless to say. But I definitely want to know what you guys think. Do you like the team Weirdo? Do you like the people that they selected for our main team in this season? What did you think of Guy Sorg? And certainly go ahead and let me know more in the comment section box below, guys. But before we wrap this up, if you haven't subscribed to us yet, please go ahead and do so, guys, and click that bell notification so anytime we drop a brand new video, you will certainly go ahead and be notified. Check us out also on our Facebook page, our Twitter account, and our Instagram account. And until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later. Rio so cool!